Let's take a look in the Motion Builder. It's the program we're using to animate. You can animate by hand, or you can use Motioncapture as a base. So if I look at the hip joint, this is the translation curve, and each frame has a key, which is a position for the hip. You can turn on the curve here, and that's the same as this green curve. So that's his movement. You can see it's a little bit jittery here when he sort of is jumping down. So maybe you don't like that, then you would probably go in and clean up the curve, because you might think here's a step, so that makes sense, and a step up. Maybe you think that yeah, here's a little bit too rough so you can then remove one key and make the curves smoother if that's what you want. So this was just the hip, and this was just one of the axes. You see we have 3 axes, so, and for translation and rotation as well. And you always start sort of working with the hip if you do keyframe animation by hand. And these are all the as you can see, it's a lot of work if you're working with all the body parts. So that's why we often use Motioncapture, because then you get the recording like this, and then you can clean up the recording. But most of the time you have to actually make an animation that you might not have. So in this example, when we had like a jumping over animation, and then we had to sort of keyframe the rest by hand. So since we don't have any mocap that's doing a repel, and then we can also add it in like a jump landing at the end. So it's sort of, this part might be Motioncapture, this might be keyframed by hand, and the end is then also edited Motioncapture jump landing. So that's just an example.